especially bottom tier teams, that you really want to play safe.
Yeah, I feel like Syndra can be very easily exposed, but Dove was probably the best player on SANDBOX in Game 1.
Yeah.
So maybe locking him away a priority pick is going to be helping. What are we thinking? Trundle, Azir, something like that for T1?
Easy pick.
They could even lock away the Jace early on here also, because Canna looked so comfortable on that pickup. But Trundle Azir, just a little bit too obvious.
Yeah, they always build around Faker and Teddy. It's already set it up.
Yeah. No,
Azir and Kalista and Trundle in the same team. I felt already really comfortable for the T1 side.
Yep. It's certainly looking like a bit of an omen for a 2-0.
Yeah.
But we're still very early in this draft. SANDBOX might have some surprises for us. Oh god. That's a surprise.
That's actually a huge surprise. I mean, I know that they prepared for this, right? They prepared whole week to play against T1, right? So this is probably the pick that they were preparing when they are playing against T1, but it didn't work out that well. And also he failed so many times with Gragas.
Yeah, it was like mechanically not ready, to be honest. That's what it looked like to me.
Maybe more like mentally not ready to play this kind of pressure champion, that if you misses one combo then you are completely useless. But yeah, they're picking it up again. Seems like they're really desperate.
Or they're flexing it. I mean, this could be Gorilla that plays it. Could be Dove. You know, they might go down the Chovy route. Who knows? So
Root Syndra with Gragas mid. Then I can say, wow.
Yeah, Syndra Gragas bot lane.
Yamato Cannon is muffin.
Well, we're not. It's not over just yet. I think we have a feeling that the Gragas is going to be going into the jungle, and that means that it's almost a guarantee that the Sett will be heading topside, especially with Senna banned.
Yeah?
Unless we're going to see Root pick Kai'Sa and then have the Sett Kai'Sa combo. And T1, they've figured that one out as well. So they're going to ban the Kai'Sa, and now the 80 carry pool is basically just Ashe.
But I think they can definitely do something like Syndra Sett or Syndra Pantheon bot lane.
True.
And I think Root, he's not bad non-AD carry player. So I think they can definitely play it, but I'm not sure if they are ready. No, wait.
Oh god, okay. Lucian's locked in.
Okay, so it can be top Lucian with mid Sett and AD carry Syndra, or it can be like Lucian top with Syndra Sett bot lane and there is only mid laner left, or yeah, I mean, if it's top Lucian.
Oh, I love this. Okay, the Rakan coming back again. And that's going to be the Kalista Rakan that we saw be so successful, I believe, last year. We've seen it in other regions. Haven't seen it as much here in the LCK, but Effort's Rakan is extraordinarily good. As just pick Jace.
I mean, this is still fine.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay.
Look at their team fight.
Yeah, you get the quickness in there, and you've got Slicing Maelstrom. Oh my god. It's the easiest scoop for Faker ever. Oh my goodness. Disgusting.
And let's see what is this draft. I mean, if it's Lucian Gragas bot lane, then it's still actually fine. It's kind of really aggressive bot lane to snowball all the game.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
But I think they are...
Yeah, counter picking top.
I'm not sure. They're just fully going aggressive. I like it, actually. I mean, I think this is...
So wait, this is Dove's Irelia, this is top lane Lucian, Syndra Sett bottom lane, and OnFleek on the Gragas jungle.
Okay, they're trying so many things. They are testing.
This is
so many things, yeah. I mean, if it was like some kind of DRX or T1, Genji, those kind of teams trying, then I would say, yeah, this is really nice try. Oh,
yeah, let's go.
I love this. But they are on 0-3, losing all the games in LCK, and they're trying new things. And this doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah, you might want to go back to basics first before you try to go with the mind games, but maybe that's just the way that they're going to do it. And maybe this is one of those comps that they have practiced in scrims. Maybe it's time to bring out the big guns as far as some of the secrets that they may have, but this T1 comp looks terrifying. Utterly terrifying.
It already showed up at game 1 as well, right?
Oh yeah.
But I think, yeah, as you mentioned it, this is the one of the way you actually go through this rough time. It's definitely rough time for SANDBOX.
Oh, 100%.
I think if they can win the game with this kind of draft, then probably this is the champions that they are really confident in it. I definitely love it.
Well, we'll see whether they can bring us to a game 3. T1 certainly with a teamfight comp to end all teamfight comps. But SANDBOX, they have the all or nothing, we're going to kill you as soon as we possibly can, and try and snowball this one to a 20-minute victory. And Dove's Ignite in the mid lane certainly shows us that one.
Yeah, I think this is complete all-in.
Yeah, and look, Root's even gone electrocute Syndra.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely all-in by SANDBOX. They just realized that, okay, we cannot win T1 in a normal way.
Yeah.
So we go full crazy.
Let's bring the cheese.
Yes.
Sometimes the cheese is what you need. We're going back to StarCraft, you know, like...
That is true.
If you can't win straight up with, you know, like...
4 drones?
Yeah, it's like 4, it's like a 4 pool. Let's go. Like, they're rushing. It's like if you're Protoss, you're just cannon rushing. It's like Parting. Have you met Parting before?
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite players just because he's a little bit crazy, whether he's in the game or whether he's out of it. But yes, known very much for cannon rushing. And this feels like the cannon rush equivalent that SANDBOX has put onto the Rift here with their top lane Lucian once again. And Dove on the Irelia is his answer to the Azir. Definitely a good matchup for Irelia.
Yeah. And also, I predict this game to go 20 minutes.
Only. Yeah,
Only.
one way or the other.
One way or the other. Exactly.
No, I think if T1 are going to win, it's going to be 30 minutes because you got to wait for that.
Because it's
Drake, you got to wait for the
Elder
into the Baron.
And to push, you should have 2 Nashers at least.
Yep.
Rotate safely.
Oh, straight up. And you got to have at least a 30,000 goals lead in the end. That's probably what Coach Kim said. They're like 13,000. Gentlemen, what was I telling you about 30,000? That's what we need. That being said, I don't have any issues with playing safe League of Legends if it means that you win.
Yeah. I mean, if they...
All right, that's a flash. Facebreaker is brilliant from Gorilla, though, and Effort gets punished instantly for pressing his F button or his D button, as it turns out.
I mean, I would be really
flash out of root, though.
Yeah, I would be really mad if SANDBOX plays safe with this kind of comp.
Oh, yeah.
Then I would be so freaking mad. But yeah, T1 is already playing really aggressive on the ball lane with their composition. They got push in level 1, so they managed to force out the flash by root. And this is great news for T1 already.
And I guess Rakan is more than happy to trade his flash because he's got so many dashes.
Obviously.
So, absolutely fine there. Teddy going to be able to take down this ward that was literally just placed in the brush. They observed it though, they already had a ward in there. Ellim's going to turn up, and now Dove could be in trouble. Pillar goes down. Ellim, you can see, trying to avoid the stun and actually outplace himself. He's able to move out of the way of Dove. Doesn't get a flash or anything like that. OnFleek on the top side will be able to take down this Rift Scuttler. Now Ellim's going to turn his attention bottom side.
This is already better than last game Lucian. He is controlling the lane, and also Gragas is on the right spot to support Lucian. They spotted Trundle out on the mid lane. Maybe not, it was intentional play, but
yeah,
anyways.
A weird play, to be honest, but that's okay. Add a bit of pressure. Faker has a slight lead. And Teddy and Effort certainly having a good time here in this lane so far.
Yep.
And the pressure isn't on T1 to do stuff, right? They have a comp that's going to scale much better than SANDBOX's is.
Yeah, so SANDBOX is kind of on a time clock that they have to snowball all the game.
Oh, yeah.
And Summit is already doing it though on the top lane. It's so much better than last game. Maybe not that much of CS difference.
There's Ellim. He's going to get booped there. OnFleek going to put his belly into the troll, but that's okay. Clearing out vision. And yeah, you're right. I think it's a different matchup. So I think Kennen loses a little bit harder to the Lucian than Jace does. And we saw Doran, like, I mean, DRX weren't winning for very much of that game when Doran's Kennen was trying to compete, but is still going to be able to get those flanks, still going to be relevant as this game goes on. The Kennen isn't about laning phase necessarily. I remember when it used to be, you know, on hit AD Kennen was definitely all about the laning phase, but the AP variety is all about getting into those team fights. And he's a doctor, so you gotta trust him.
Yeah, and this Ollie Drake is gonna help to snowball for SANDBOX side, so this is already great. If they can get it safely.
Yeah. And I mean, it'd be almost inexcusable if they weren't able to get the early Drakes as this SANDBOX draft, because they did opt in so heavily for the early game. But the fact that they're doing it, the fact that they're getting it very, very early, it's great news.
Great news.
Alright, OnFleek and Dove, we're thinking about trying something onto Faker there. Decide not to. Exhaust picked up by Faker, as you can see. So, definitely respecting the matchup. And you can see Canna's actually stacking this wave a little bit, so the fact that he has a slight CS advantage doesn't really mean anything, because Lucian will be able to pick up a lot of these creeps as they're heading towards the turret.
I think it's gonna be farming for another 3 minutes probably, because yeah, I mean, I think if SANDBOX is farming with this competition again, then I think it's already a disaster. With Irelia, Gragas, Syndra in the same team, and Lucian, by the way,
yeah,
you must fight Ollie and get some Ollie advantage from the skirmishes.
Not happening just yet. Teddy and Effort going to be able to take down this Rift Scuttlet in the bottom side river. And we've got an Ocean Drake coming up in 3 minutes and 40 seconds time. Mountain Soul or Cloud Soul going to be our options here today. Assuming Cloud. That's what you should always assume. Pretty safe one. There's Gorilla walking over to the Rakan, threatening to break his face. Decides not to pull the pin. As we check in, it's going to be Faker that's in the lead by about 9. Bit of a wave difference. It's taking the lethal tempo on the Azir as well. Definitely aiming for the scaling.
And also you're playing as melee champion, so you probably proc more of lethal tempo than when you're playing against range matchup, right? So
yeah,
probably that's the reason why he picked up the lethal tempo. You're playing as melee champion.
Makes some sense.
At the same time, as you mentioned it, it's scaled better.
Effort. He got punched for a moment, but nothing else going to really come of it as Ellim. Alright. He's lying in wait, ready for a counter gank. Is OnFleek just going to clear out vision. Move himself back. You can see Ellim finally is seen by Dove as he blade surges forward. It's going to mean the troll is going to head towards the top side of the map. Red buff and availability here. As you can see, Summit thinking about moving on over towards it. A lot of pings there on the north side. Cannon's picked up an Ignite. He's ready for a potential scuffle with Summit. That control wars lasted a long time, though we did see in the enemy jungle on the red buff. T1 is well aware of the fact that the Gragas hasn't really gone towards that one as OnFleek turns up. And there's the Slicing Maelstrom onto Summit. He gets ignited, and there's the culling. Flash does come out as now Ellim's the one in trouble. Tries to use the ulti to try and kite his way out, but he's not going to be able to. Gorilla is going to utilize that Facebreaker, and they are going to transition into this Rift Herald. And now, first blood over to SANDBOX. They'll be able to get even more money.
This is the team composition for the early game skirmishes, and this is the situation that SANDBOX really wanted.
Yeah.
They will get extra golds with the header as well.
And T1 actually started off the Herald.
Oh,
so
yeah.
A little bit crazy.
I mean, they're actually really aggressive nowadays.
Might show some over-aggression.
Yeah.
But we like that. Being aggressive, definitely good. You know, losing the game, not so great. But we'll see whether T1 can stabilize. I have faith that they probably will be able to.
I mean, in the last game also, it was not the cleanest game when we talk about the rotation and those kind of detailed things, right? But still, T1 showed that they have better mechanics. So, yeah,
straight up. As Canna was actually just caught out of position here. Summit gets a flash, just solo, and that's honestly what does most of the damage. As Ellim tries to use the cast to taxi his way out, but there was Dove and Gorilla already lying in wait. No escape for the new jungler for T1.
But yeah, SANDBOX, they shouldn't stop. They should just keep it up.
Yeah.
I think this one single kill is not gonna help them towards to the victory. So I think they really need to get this second Drake as well, and also try to make this header as worthy as possible.
Well, OnFleek going to be able to put it down if he would like to, as Slicing Maelstrom to clear out the minion wave. The barrel comes in. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Dove is going to get pushed back with the Emperor's Divide. Vanguard's Edge onto Ellim, though, as he gets ignited. The grand entrance there, just as effort turns up. Hand delivered. And OnFleek is going to be able to pick up the kill top lane as well. But T1 answering back nicely, and they'll grab turret plates of their own in the mid lane. OnFleek being very patient. Not sure whether that's great. It's necessarily the best idea, as T1 are going to move down towards this Drake and should be able to take that one away as Faker deals with the mid lane outer turret. Not going to be able to kill it just yet, but lots of plates going over to the lethal tempo Azir piloted by Faker. Yeah, that worries me if I was a SANDBOX fan.
Yeah, but still, Summit, he's already having a better time when you compare to game one.
Oh, 100%.
Is completely different Lucian that you might thinking. It can be finally enemy team Lucian.
Yeah, maybe that one's... Maybe that's what he's picking it again for, just to prove to everyone that actually this is a really good pick.
Yep.
And Dove can just be bouncing around this mid lane. We'll see what happens here, as we did actually look towards mid lane. Summit standing just on the edge of the Slicing Maelstrom was pretty nice as OnFleek. He wanted to give it over to Summit, but wasn't able to.
But anyways, yeah, this is the bad moment for Irelia, because she is melee champion, so she needs to just push her body to get the mid prior, right? So yeah, that means you have to fight against enemy champion 24/7, so you must have some backups or cares by your teammates. But this time around, OnFleek was doing his job on the top side, so he should be careful. But Faker, he flipped him perfectly, so T1 got the kill.
It was nicely done. Effort with the only gold advantage on his team. You can see as far as the carries bottom lane, there is barely any difference. It's going to be only 5 gold in at this point in time. Teddy's going to be well positioned to move towards some mid-game fights, and T1, it can be pretty early that they start team fighting. They just need to have a good Slicing Maelstrom with Teddy bouncing around with an item or two, and Faker there to try and scoop everyone up at a moment's notice.
Yeah, I mean, they still have great team fight composition, but I really think when SANDBOX has all the flashes up, they can definitely fight back because they have item advantage, right? But it seemed like T1 got the secondary Drake, by the way.
They did. They got that Ocean, and now it's Mountain Drake. And if T1 even get 2 of them, I think it's just over for SANDBOX.
I mean, it feels already really bad for SANDBOX, because I literally said that they really need to snowball it. They shouldn't farm with this so I think it's already really not that happy situation for SANDBOX.
Yeah, good vision here as well for T1. Saw spot out OnFleek his entire journey through the river. And yeah, T1's just going to go back to slowly playing this game out. Faking to go back home. I think it might be Nash's time. And that's right. So SANDBOX do still have a lead. Like 1.4k, something like that, so not quite enough. Still, it's an advantage. That's something.
I mean, this time around, look at SANDBOX's items. They have all completed item.
Yeah,
for each champions. Yeah. So they should make some situation going on the map. Just try to go into enemy jungle and make some fight situation for themselves, because yeah, again, I don't think this composition is made for late game.
No, certainly shouldn't work out. If they win in the late game, then it's our eyebrows that should be raised towards T1 rather than anything else. Teddy clears out that top wave. Bottom side of the map, you've got Canna going back home, and I wonder whether that's because T1 do want to fight around this Rift Herald.
Oh, that was a prediction.
Yeah, it was. That's not where Dove was, though. So Faker's going to have to blow his flash. In goes Gorilla, finds a face breaker. Looking for Faker there, and they are going to be able to take him down. And now the teleport from Canna means an immediate exit of that particular fight. Yet another whoopsie here for T1.
Yeah. I never thought that I will say this in 2020, I mean in this world, in this universe, but guys, the fact is Faker inted.
He did, he made a bit of a mistake there. Not entirely sure what the mindset was, but we might actually have a look at a replay or something like that to give us some added explanation.
Yeah.
But he has done a few of these so far this season, on the Azir specifically. He's had some really good games.
Yeah.
But not a man prone to making mistakes like that.
Yeah, I mean, he was always showing his performance, and in the spring split, everyone was asking about him. Yeah, maybe this time around Chovy and BDD is better than him, but he proves that it's not true. He was the best mid laner in LCK in the spring split.
He certainly won, so you can't really argue. As Mountain Drake has spawned, SANDBOX have position as Faker's top lane without teleport. And that should mean that OnFleek can come over here and pick up this Drake. It's only a Kennen towards the bottom side, so looks to me like T1 are just happy to give that one up. This Dove's also top side of the map. I have a feeling that T1 could have actually fought for this, but decide not to. And Ellim, he's top lane. So the Drake is just handed over to SANDBOX. Really great news for them.
Yeah, that mid skirmishes helped SANDBOX so much.
Oh yeah,
they forced out the Cannon, TP and flash, and also Faker used his flash and died at the end. So this is still going really great for SANDBOX. They're snowballing, and if they can actually push this turret on the mid lane, it would be cherry on the top. It would be like 1 HP almost. Yeah.
Yep, it's going to be very, very low, as Teddy should be able to poke out Shirley's eye. Does so. Faker going to go back home, see whether he can complete his boots, something like that. And yes, he does. So special shoes in there. T1 are by no means out of this, right? It's not even over 2,000 gold yet or anything like that for the lead. But SANDBOX do have momentum.
Okay, yeah. I mean, he
expected Dove to move topside.
But that was a necessary play by Faker. Even though he flipped him, I don't think they can actually one-shot Dove right there. So, yeah, a bit of oopsie there. But still, they have late game teamfight comp, so it's fine.
Yeah, you may as well do your limit testing at the beginning and then win the game after that. As the gold lead's actually shrinking as the game goes on. 3.5 minutes until the next Mountain Drake is available. I would suggest that T1 fights for that one, as stacking these mountains can be very scary. Soul Point is certainly a large amount of pressure on this map. No turrets to be taken just yet by T1. You can see the bottom lane outer is actually very, very low, as is the mid lane. So T1 now looking to try and get in there. Take that one if they can, as backdoor bonus will be up. So Teddy not going to be able to get it on this wave. As Gorilla does show up. Cannons towards the bottom side, no teleport. Faker top side. Definitely no teleport because he doesn't actually have that one chosen.
Yep.
He will shove that one out though. And Seen a lot of Faker in side lanes this season. It's sort of been his favorite thing to do. On the Azir, it certainly is a threat to turrets though, so that does make some sense.
Yeah, currently still going great for SANDBOX, but it's not that huge difference between SANDBOX and T1, by the way.
I mean, look at the farm. It's identical apart from Teddy having a 40 CS advantage over Root.
It's only 20 minutes, but he has 246.
What the heck? Yeah. Root's farming extremely well. But Teddy's sitting there at like, what, 14 CS a minute or something? Like 12.2. Thank you so much, observers, for putting that on the screen for us. As, yeah, 12.2 is ludicrous amounts of farm.
Yep. And other players are also farming really well, you know? And
yeah, exactly.
We expected them to fight 24/7, but actually they're farming 24/7.
And Teddy now has these 2 items that he's looking for. The fight around the next Mountain Drake should be one that T1 are going to feel pretty comfortable with based on where their items are sitting. Even Canna just needs to go back and get Sorcerer Shoes, and he has fantastic amounts of damage for this point in the game with the double penetration. So, yeah, this is it's getting frightening for SANDBOX.
Next Drake is going to be the game decider, I think.
I agree.
Because SANDBOX is not going to give this up freely if they really want to take this win. And also, T1, I think they're prepared to fight.
They've got the items for it.
Exactly.
Well, even a Zeke's Herald done for effort, it's going to help Teddy out. That's all right. There's Grand Entrance, Body Slam, going to be the perfect counter to that one. OnFleek just gets himself out of the way, out of trouble. And all right, okay. Faker goes back, collects himself a stopwatch. It's going to be a pretty early Zhonya's by the looks of things. Certainly going to be a decent pickup against the Irelia.
Yeah. I think after that mid play, he's like, okay, I'm like Zhonya's.
Yeah, I think this might be a good idea. Let's keep ourselves alive, shall we? I think if Canna had a stopwatch, that would be ideal as well. Beggars can't be choosers here with 12 seconds to go until that Mountain Drake spawns. SANDBOX getting themselves into position. Faker as well with pressure bottom side. And Ellim is now parking himself around this area. SANDBOX make a smart choice though. Move into the mid lane. Take down that tower for free. Because they knew that T1 did have to be careful. Is now OnFleek thinking that he may have caught Ellim out of position. And tower falls bottom side as well. So Ellim wants to try and start off a fight. You can see effort just dancing around the outside. Okay, there's the flash forward. Quickness lands onto Root, who immediately flashes his way out. Fate's call to save effort, make sure that he's absolutely fine as Gorilla going to get knocked up and taken down. Good barrel, but into the backline goes Canna, and they just wipe everyone out. Root gets exhausted as he dives in, but not before. Faker does fall down, and SANDBOX have found themselves the victory as Ellim's the last one standing. And it looks like Soul Point will be going over to them.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like T1 is swiping them up, but the point is, Summit is their main carry.
I guess so.
Also, Dove, he really wants to jump into them, and they actually jumped into Dove, so it kind of helped him. And yeah, that was not that like perfectly coordinated engage by effort. He forced out the root. But Root is just the ball laner. It doesn't matter, it's just all about Dove and Summit. So, yeah. Summit is just really hitting Faker on the side.
Oh, wow. And Root managed to press R on Teddy just before he died.
Yeah.
And that's why Teddy actually got eliminated from the fight immediately. So that is going to be Soul Point going over to SANDBOX. Man, it looked like such a good fight for T1, especially as Canna flanked his way in. Yeah. But unfortunately, weren't actually able to take down the carries that they were looking for. And now you've got an OnFleek sitting at 2-0-4. A turnaround Gragas performance. And 1-0-3 for Summit. This is a very relevant Lucian.
I respect him. Like, after the game 1, after that performance on the same champion, I would definitely not pick it again.
Yeah, absolutely.
After that, they didn't care at all. So they're performing so much better at the game 2. Maybe because of feedback, maybe because of the changing mindset. I'm not sure, but definitely respectable.
Oh, 100%. Much better. As Teddy's got a QSS now, wanting to avoid any of the stuns, and not wanting to be smashed back by Gragas or anything like that. As there's Faker picking up Gorilla. Showstopper comes in, but the show is going to go on, my friend. I apologize. Faker ends that one with a Sand Soldier. And T1, they get the pick that they were looking for, but it's only onto Gorilla. Not the end of the world here for SANDBOX, and there's nothing really to fight for. 3 minutes on that Mountain Drake.
Yeah, and the vision score difference, 100 to 52. This is actually so huge.
That is nuts. Okay, although you have a look at the numbers, and they're not that different. And Rakan being ranged, also being so mobile, is certainly able to get out there and clear vision much more simply. One thing I do want to talk about for SANDBOX, though, is vision. Because you can see top side of the map, all of their vision around the Baron is actually very, very strong.
Yeah. So I think they have one more team fight to actually end this game. Because there is the Drake Soul Point, there is Nashor, and then if they get it at the same time. This was really great cutout from Faker. Even though there is no objectives that they can play for, still, kill pickup is always right and happy.
Yep, OnFleek looking for effort. He gets bounced back. Grand Entrance comes in. Facebreaker down as well, as there's the Fate's Call. And that's going to save him so much wasted to try and get the kill onto effort. And in the end, Teddy nullifies it with one press of the R button. As Faker gets himself out. Thought maybe he'd be trying to go for something aggressive, but decides not to. And SANDBOX do have extra pressure. They know that effort does have to go home. So inherently, able to get themselves further down the map. T1 with so much standing gold though. Outer turret top lane, outer turret mid lane, both still standing. This game could flip on a dime if T1 do find themselves a team fight win. You see Summit towards the bottom side, putting pressure onto Canna, who's down by 20 CS. I think that's fine given what we can see in the scoreline. Summit having a much better time on the Lucian this time around.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. If T1 can win one single team fight, it's same to T1. It's gonna be easy win for T1 right now because their team comp is all about team fight, and SANDBOX is all about snowballing, right?
Yep.
And then if you fail or lose one team fight, then you will not be able to snowball anymore.
Yep, that's the snowball falling off the mountain. Doesn't really work. So T1 still not going to be too worried about their position in this game, but SANDBOX not out of it by any means. They just need to keep up the pressure, keep winning these fights. Essence Reaver completed for Summit. That is 3 items already done. Canna does have 3 as well, but they're not quite as expensive as what Summit's put together for himself. Now SANDBOX are lying in wait. Enough to find the target. There's that little ward there. It's actually very valuable. Now once again, effort could be caught. It's going to battle dance over to Teddy though. And their position is given up. Now Faker standing in position, but vision is on top of him. 1 second, Mountain Drake now going to be available. And this is Mountain Soul for SANDBOX. They have to get this. As we can see Canna, so can SANDBOX. As they get out of the way, Teddy in position. Battle Dance gets effort to safety. Control ward goes over the wall. T1 immediately get rid of it. Now Dove has started off this Drake. And is still there in flanking position though. Ellim over to the side. This is definitely going to be a team fight. That is a phenomenal stun there from Root as the mountain goes down very low. It's stolen from Ellim, and now the team fight is on. Faker picks up Gorilla as Canna just zoning with the slicing Maelstrom. It is going to be the Gragas falling down for the first time as now Root has nothing left in the tank, and Faker goes golden at exactly the right time. Dove's going to fall. Faker somehow just walks out of it, and I think we're done on the side of SANDBOX. That was the fight T1 needed to win, and they won it.
And they got the Drake as well. So, and Faker just popped off in that team fight. Maybe that was the timing for Summit again to pop off in that team fight, but his Zhonya's, he's exhausting. Like, everything was just perfect by Faker. And then I already...
Yep, you'd already put it down. You are the prophet.
Yeah.
You'd called it. This is going to be a Faker win as Canna, not sure what he's doing here. He's going to get face broken though, as that's just going to bait summon in. And Canna survives. I don't know what's happened, but yeah, I think we're ticking towards 30 minutes, and SANDBOX, they've once again, the tank is empty.
Yeah, and I think when you're a bottom tier team and you are trying to snowball against the top tier team, it's always feeling like climbing up with the snowball, you know? So
yeah.
If you fail one time,
pressure, right?
Yeah, if you fail one time, you're gonna fall down.
Let's have a look at this team fight once again. Ellim gets a brilliant smite, which also procs his King's Tribute. As yeah, Faker was basically untouched.
Yeah, I mean, look at Faker. He's zoning Summit. This time around, it's an exhaust, and also the second time, he almost got one shot, but Sonya's.
He didn't even ult for the whole team fight. He just baited everyone. He soaked an entire culling.
Yeah.
And then pressed his Zonya's button. And in the meantime, Teddy was able to do whatever he wanted because SANDBOX was so concerned about what Faker was going to do.
So Summit just keep it in and die.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah. His first death of the game, too. As we've got a 3,000 Baron power play. That's going to flip the gold lead entirely on its head. And Effort is going to get culled. Oh, no, not quite enough bullets there.
Because he was building for Nice Bow. It saved him.
Nailed it. Now he's going to go back home, completes it. The ultimate buff Teddy with arrows type build. I like it. Normally you can build Ardent Sensor and stuff like that, but do you get an arrow? No, you do not. Need to get them arrows to make circles around the Kalista's feet. That is what's very important. Faker's level 18.
Already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
When enemy support is level 11, it's 7 levels difference between laner and support, and it makes me really sad.
It's 31 minutes, and Teddy has 386 farm.
I mean, it's look. Teddy won. T1.
Teddy's Flame Horizon his own top lane.
Yeah, T1 means Teddy won, so.
That's true.
He's making it, and he's showing the reason why their team name is T1.
The first and only T1 team.
Yeah.
Yep. That's close to 4,000 as we tick down the Baron buff power play. Ellim in position here, gets the body slam out of OnFleek. That's a long cooldown actually, as he throws out the explosive cast. Also a long cooldown. Not relative to other ultimates, to be perfectly honest, but still going to be something that T1 can bear in mind. Is Mountain Drake going to be spawning in 55 seconds? Every time one of these comes up, T1 does need to be careful, as Teddy's got 4 items. 3 of which give him lifesteal.
Yeah.
He's got Cleanse. He's also got a Rakan. He's got a QSS, and yeah.
Unkillable Demon.
King. That's Faker. He's been a little bit more killable than he otherwise has sometimes this game. But T1, as the juggernaut that they are, just seem to have outlasted SANDBOX in this game. And now they're waiting for SANDBOX to overstep their bounds. Okay, there's the Predator. Flick looking for an opportunity. Okay, not going to be able to find that one. Yep. Quickness is going to lock up OnFleek, and they just want to make sure that they get the smite out of this one. Dove is going to miss his Vanguard's edge as OnFleek able to escape for the moment. Showstopper, as Gorilla does get the 2-man face breaker, as Canna's just looking for the backline. Syndra melts, evaporates instantly, actually, as Faker over to the side. OnFleek tries to get in. And yeah, this game's well and truly over.
Believe it.
Fantastic play from Faker, though. It's just really depressing watching a Gragas just body slam forward into the death chamber.
And he still has flash up!
Yeah.
I just cannot believe that. Because he was getting chased by all the players and all the skill shots, and he still saves his flash for the last moment that he needs to kill still on the last moment.
And gets the ace for his team. Clean stuff for T1 in the end. SANDBOX, to be perfectly honest, bounced back better than a lot of us would have expected. But in the end, it felt pretty inevitable that...
F on.
Teddy!